And we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the head to be heavy. We continue to the neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the body, throughout the upper part of the body, to be heavy. We continue to the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles, toes, tips of toes. We allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the body to be heavy. And we enjoy that heaviness. And the more you allow them to be heavy, the more really they will be heavy. You may feel how they gradually relax, how they lose a kind of tension, and they become softer and softer and softer. And as we allow this body to be softer and softer, we ourselves worry less and less and enjoy more and more peace. Now let's share that peace with other living beings. In our minds, voicelessly, we can wish. We do not force, we do not expect. This is just to improve the way how we see the world. So you do not need to expect others will change. Instead, we just learn to allow. We learn to permit other beings to be as happy as we are. If all of us are happy, we can stay happy for a long time. If I'm alone happy, well, then because others may be unhappy, my happiness may disappear soon. Instead, if all of us are happy, then if my happiness disappears, then because others are happy, they will help me to get my happiness again. So we always want all of us to be happy. And so we allow all of the beings, including ourselves, to be happy. But we start in our room, and we allow all beings in our room to be happy. There may be some insects, maybe some ants or flies or mosquitoes. Doesn't matter. If they are happy, they will support me in my happiness. Even the mosquitoes, if they are happy, then they do not need to come and suck your blood. So, if we are happy, it's good for all of us. And there may be also some other animals, maybe some other living beings, maybe humans in your room, whoever is there. We allow them, okay, you know what? You can be as peaceful as I am now. May all beings in this room be in peace. In our minds, voicelessly, we can wish. May all beings in this room be in peace. And we will gradually expand our loving kindness. May all beings in this building be in peace. May all beings in this city or village be in peace. May all beings in this country be in peace. May all beings on this continent be in peace. For me, it's Asia, your continent is America. May all beings on this planet be in peace. May all beings, including me, be in peace. All of the beings, including ourselves, can enjoy peace. Now, because the time for this sitting is finished, let's make the last determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. And we can slowly, mindfully change the way of our sitting. Make sure you do it slowly and you know how you do it. And when we are sitting in a different posture, let's take one more minute during which we will not make any movement at all, and we will further enjoy our peace. So see if you can sit really like a statue, no movement at all. 1 minute. Very well. So, I see we have here some new students, right? So, Siriksu, or how should I read that? How should I read your name? I think you were here also previously, right? Siriksu, or Sirius, or Sirius? What is your name? Can you unmute yourself and tell us what's your name? Not successful.
I think his name is Christus, and I think he just spelled his name wrong, and he got a new haircut.
So we will let Christensen, is that right? Is that his first name? Emily?
No.
So what is his name?
Christus.
Christus. Uh-huh. Is that right? Christus? Am I saying it right? Okay. So I think it would be great if he could spell his name right on the video. Devi Tu, have you ever been here before? I don't remember your name.
I believe Debbie's mom's name is need to be changed.
Okay. Is that your mom's name? Okay, it would be great to have there your name.
I don't think I can change my name.
You definitely can. I think you need to, I don't know what's the device you have. Is that an iPad or computer? Yadi, can you please help her?
You can press on participants, and then you can, you'll see a little button that says your name, and then it'll say me. You want to tap on that, and it'll say me. Okay.
So Sirius or Christus has not renamed himself yet. Do you have there your parents or someone who could do that for you, Christus? Mo and Hane, do you think there is any way how each of you could have a separate device so that you are not, so that you know you're not pushing and jolting to each other during the class?
You can try.
You can try. Okay, that would be so good. Michelle, I see. Okay, so nice to meet you, Michelle. Have you been here already before? Michelle, did you ever attend our class in the past?
Yes.
Yes, you did. Okay, when was that?
I think I wasn't here last week, and I think I was here the week before.
The week before that? Okay, that's good.
And
Thank you.
then the time when you, the first class, which you were next, I think you took a break,
Okay.
To someone.
Yes, that's probably the time when I went to Vietnam. I'm still in Vietnam now. And Michelle, how old are you?
I'm 11.
You're 11. Well, if you're 11, then this is not the class for you. If you are more than 10, then you need to move on to teens. And the teens class is at a different time. Where do you live?
I live in North Carolina.
Where is that?
I live in
Well, it is United States, right? But
East Coast. It should be same with our time frame.
okay, okay. And what's the name of the state?
North Carolina.
I see, North Carolina. Yes. Okay. Okay. So I would like to recommend to you that you join our teen class. Because this class is supposed to be only for 6 to 10-year-olds, and our teen class, we have changed our timetable, and for North Carolina, then you would be joining the New Yorkers, and that is supposed to happen at 9 of your time. What do you think about that?
I don't think 9 in the morning.
Yes, it will be your tomorrow 9 a.m.
Yeah, the New York class is 7 a.m. tomorrow.
We have changed the time, and we are supposed to meet at 9.
I see. Yeah. I did not realize. Thank you, Shiv.
Yes. So, Michelle, what do you think about joining our class? You can join here, you can join there, in both, and then you can decide which is more.
In the morning, I don't think that will work because I have a class.
You have some other class?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
may
can I just stay in this one?
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for the blessing.
So Sirius still, or Christus still didn't change his name, and Honey and Mo. I see now Honey and Mo. Yes, now I see you separately. Nice. So let's move on to our chanting. So we will be chanting the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. I will ask Honey and Mo to remind their brother that I'm looking forward to seeing him tomorrow morning at your 9 a.m. right? And later, no, not now. And I would like to ask Tenza, what about your brother and sister, your brothers and sister? Do you think they are comfortable with this time, 9 a.m. tomorrow of your time?
Yes.
Do you think they could come? That would be wonderful. For a long time we were resolving time issue, and now we could resolve it. That would be nice. Are you sure they don't have any course or lesson or a class or anything like that? No? Nice. So let's get into this. So there are the 3 refuges, 5 precepts. We recite 3 refuges and 5 precepts. For me, I follow many more precepts, many more rules. Precepts are basically rules, and I give you these rules. I encourage you in following these rules. If you follow these rules, we believe you will be happy in this life and in the next life. But you may not be happy immediately. It sometimes takes time. You know, it's like medicine. You take a medicine, you need to wait some time until the medicine works. The same thing is with the rules. So some of the rules may be pretty difficult. Like when you take a sour or bitter medicine, it is not pleasant. But after some time, it can help you to be happier, to enjoy your life. So that's why we follow these 5 rules and the 3 refuges, because they bring us happiness. Again, may not be immediately. So there are 5 rules. That is not killing, not stealing, not cheating. That's for adults, but you start to learn it already now. And not telling lies, not drinking alcohol. So these are 5 things that you follow. As you follow them, you become a good person, you become a noble person, and other people will respect you, they will trust you, they will believe you, and they will also help you and support you. But first, you need to follow the 5 precepts so that this is possible. And for that, you are requesting a monk who follows them super perfect. So a monk, including me, I'm a monk, follows these 5 precepts incredibly perfectly, very, very well. And you learn these 5 rules, and you are inspired by following of these 5 rules from that monk. So that's why the monk is giving you the rules. You can take the rules alone, that's fine. But the monk is an inspiration. That means the monk serves as your example, so that you think of the monk, oh, that monk actually follows these 5 rules, super perfect. So let me follow these 5 precepts at least perfectly. Monks follow not just 5 rules, monks follow over 90 billion rules. Now, lay people have to follow just 5 rules. So that's not so bad, right? You need to follow these 5 rules very, very well, so that you are sure that you deserve to be happy in this life, in the next life. If, as you follow these 5 rules and you're not happy, well, that can happen, but that's not because of following the 5 rules. Always remember, we are not happy because of not following the 5 rules. But sometimes it may be difficult to see that, because you do not tell a lie to someone, you tell them the truth, and they punch you, or they don't want to be your friend. Well, then you feel that you suffer for following the 5 rules, but that's wrong idea. You do not feel happy for following the 5 rules because previously you didn't follow them. Now, if your friend knew that you follow the 5 rules always, they will not punch you for being true, because they already know that you will be always true. They punch you because they do not understand that you are the one who follows the 5 rules. So you did not follow them before, now you follow them, so you get the punch because you did not follow them before, not because you follow them now. And this is something that becomes more and more interesting as you get more and more friends. So you need to keep up to following these 5 rules, even when you are in danger, even when your friends may stop being your friends. Always make sure you make only such friends who will always praise you and appreciate you for following 5 rules. If you have 5 friends who will blame you for following 5 rules, well, then they are not friends, then they are evil guys. We don't want that. Okay, so now I will encourage you. I will encourage you, and I will help you to take up those 5 precepts, those 5 rules, and follow them very carefully. And we do it by first repeating after me. So you would be repeating after me the request for 5 roles and the 3 refuges, and then as you take them, you remember to follow them very strictly. In the beginning, I will ask you to repeat after me. We will do this in the Pali language. So I say Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. You can see there written vadehi. That's if you are one person alone. But you are more people, so I say vadetha, because again, you are more people. If you are just one person, I would say vadehi. So Yamahang vadami tang vadehi means repeat after me. I'm encouraging you to repeat after me. And you can then agree, and when you agree in Pali language, you say ama bhante. Be careful about this h sound, bhante, and about the long sound at the end, bhante. Bhante means that's the way how you call me. You call me Bhante. Bhante is not my name, although some monks think that it's their name. It's not. Bhante is like when you call someone a sir, or a teacher, or a master. Oh, master, please teach me. So there you call the person master. In the same way you're calling me Bhante. Bhante means someone who wants you to be happy, someone who does good. So you're calling me Bhante, and at the end it is long. Te. Bhante. So let's see if you can do that. So you can all unmute yourself right now. You can keep your, after you unmute yourself, you can keep your hands together at the chest. But first you need to unmute yourself. Emily is still muted. Okay, now it's fine. So as you're keeping your hands together at the chest, remember to say Ama Bhante after I finish saying my sentence. And now let's do it together. Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. Excellent. And now I will help you take the request. So you will be requesting me to give you the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. See if you can follow my pronunciation very strictly and very well. Aham bhante tisaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anugahang katva silang detha me bhante anukampang upadaya. Dutiyampi aham bhante tisaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anugahang katva silang detha me bhante anukampang upadaya. Tatiyampi aham bhante tisaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anugahang katva Silang deta me bhante Anukampang upadaya. So now we will first pay respect to the Buddha. When we pay respect to the Buddha, we remind ourselves of the Buddha's qualities, the reason why we pay respect to the Buddha. So first we say Namo. Namo means a bow, that we are worshipping, we are paying respect, we are paying respect to the Buddha. Then tassa needs to be short. Tassa. Tassa. To him. Tassa. Bow to him. And then Bhagavato means the one who is powerful. Arahato means the one who is worthy of being offered, of being donated food, robes, place to stay, and medicine. Samma Sambuddhassa, rightly and fully awakened, the one who has understood the reality of the world. He has understood how the world works and also how to get free from the world. We do not get free from the world if we kill ourselves. We will just be born again in this world. So that's not the solution. But we can get free from the world by generosity, by donating and supporting others, by following rules, such as following the 5 rules, and by meditation. So that's how we can get free from the world. There's no other way. And the Buddha has followed these up to the most ultimate level, and so we remind ourselves, indeed, this is my teacher. My teacher is powerful, he is worthy of donations, and he is rightly and fully understood. He has rightly and fully understood the way how the world works and the way how to get out of it. Alright, so you can repeat after me as you keep your hands together. Namo tassa Bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa. Now you are going to take refuge in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Refuge is a safe place where you run if here you are not happy. Refuge is a place where if you run there and you reach that place, you will achieve safety, you will achieve peace and happiness. That's called refuge. And the Buddha's teachings, Dhamma, the community of monks, Sangha, we take them as the safest place, the most peaceful place. Why? Because they show us the way how to become enlightened. And enlightenment is the ultimate peace. Gradually, as you practice and train on the way towards enlightenment, you achieve more and more peace. It is very hard, but in the end, it is very sweet. So that's what we train in. And in order that we achieve this refuge, in order that we reach this safety and peace, we first need to know who is our teacher. Because that's the teacher, that's the leader who will take us to the peace. They will not grab us by our hands and lead us there. We have to listen to their instruction and follow it carefully. So we have a triple teacher, a kind of trinity, and that is the Buddha, the teacher. Then the teaching of the teacher is our teacher. The teaching itself is the teacher. And then the community of monks. Those are the students of the Buddha who dedicate their life, who fully dedicate, who give their life only to following the Buddha's teachings and nothing else. So they're called the monks. I'm also a monk. I've also dedicated my life to following the Buddha's teachings. So these are the three refuges. And you remind yourself that you take these refuges so that whenever you have difficulty or problem in your life, you remember that the solution, the ultimate solution, is in the Buddha, the teacher, his teachings, Dhamma, and the community of monks, Sangha. So again, you can keep your hands together at the chest and you can repeat after me. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Now for the second time, Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. So now you have taken the three refuges, and I will acknowledge, I will agree with that. All right? So because I'm the one who gave you the three refuges, now I need to decide whether you took them right. And I decide you did, and I therefore say Sarana Gamanang Paripunnang. Sarana Agamanang. Sarana are the refuges. Agamanang is the arrival, coming towards. And Paripunnang means totally complete. So I say going or coming towards the refuges is totally complete. And then you can reply Amma Bhante. So let's try that together. You can again keep your hands at the chest to show that you mean this seriously. Saranagamanang paripunnang. That's right. Very well. So now you're going to take the 5 precepts. The 5 precepts are a serious thing. You are born as humans because you followed 5 precepts in the past, in your past lives. Now, if you want to be born a human again, in case if you die in this life, if you want to be a human again, and not a mosquito or a bug or a ghost or be born in hell. So if you want to be born as a human again, you need to follow at least these 5 precepts. So it's a very important, very serious issue. The first of the 5 precepts is that you do not kill any living beings. So we do not kill the insects, we do not kill animals, we do not harm others as well. Because, well, that's partially killing, right? You're partially supporting them in suffering, and death is the ultimate suffering. So we do not harm others, we do not kick them, we do not shout at them, we do not do them any harm. And that's the first precept. So you can repeat after me. Panatipata. Veramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. So this means I follow the rule, I follow the precept of not killing, of refraining from killing living beings. If you can refrain from harming others, from causing them suffering, well, then there is a high possibility that they will also not harm you. But probably they will. Probably they will. And when the others cause you harm, you remember, oh, this person is not following the 5 precepts. They probably will not be born as a human in their next life. So you are sorry about them. Oh, that's pretty bad. This person will not be born as a human in their next life, possibly. They still may. You don't know. But it is less probable. It is rather improbable that they will be born as a human if they harm others around. And so you are sorry about them. You think, oh, this person, they are so poor, they did not learn that harming others is actually harming themselves. So they actually cause suffering to themselves. And instead of being angry, you are compassionate. You think, okay, may this person find out what's the truth. You don't tell them if they don't ask you. No, you don't tell them. That's your secret. But if they ask you, what will happen to me if I harm you? Then you can tell them, well, then you will not be eligible. It will not be easy for you to be born as a human. You will probably be born as an animal, as a ghost, or in hell. And for a long, long time. So then if they ask you, well, so what should I do so that I'm not born in hell as an animal or as a ghost? Then you would say, well, then for that you would have to avoid, you would have to refrain from harming others. So if you do not harm others, if you do not cause others suffering, well, then it is probable, it is not sure, but it is probable that you will be born as a human or as a god in your next life. But that's only if they ask. If they don't ask, you keep it as a secret, and you learn to be compassionate, to be kind, even to those who harm you. It's extremely difficult, but that's why you can then enjoy a human life. Being a human is very special. One day, the Buddha took a little bit of dust, a little bit of earth dust on the tip of his nail. And he asks the monks, where is more dust? On the tip of my nail or on all of this planet, all of this world? And the monks say, well, Venerable Sir, on your tip of your nail, there is just very little bit of dust. But there is so much of dust in the world, on the earth. And the Buddha says, well, then if you said that if you could count the people, the humans and the deities in the world, well, then that would be like the amount of the dust on the tip of my nail. But then if you counted the number of beings in the hell, animal realm, and the ghost realm, well then that would be even more than the little grains of dust of all of the earth on all of the world. So that's a lot of beings. Can you imagine? There are so many beings in the animal realm and in the ghost realm and in the hell. So many beings. Why is that? Well, because it is easy. It's easy to be born in hell as an animal or as a ghost. But there are so little number in comparison to them. So little number of humans. Well, we are about 9 billions, right? But that's still relatively little number in comparison to the animals, ghosts, and hell beings. Why is that? Why are there so little number of humans? Well, because it is so difficult. So if you find it very difficult not to tell a lie, or not to steal, or not to take alcohol, well then always remember, of course that is difficult. That's why there are not so many humans in comparison to the number of animals, hell beings, and ghosts. And you always follow the 5 precepts so that you make sure it is the most probable that you will be born as a human or as a god. Alright, so this was the first precept. Now the second precept is I follow the rule of refraining from taking what's not given. It means we never steal. So you can repeat after me. Remember to keep your hands at the chest. And it's better if you're unmuted so that I can hear you. Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Very well. Now the third precept is related to relationships. If ladies find a man and they want to live with him for whole their life, well then that means they should not search for another man. If a man finds a lady and he wants to live with her whole his life, then that means he should not search another lady. So when people become married, they need to be faithful to each other, and they should not fall in love with anyone else. So that's what may be not related to you now, but in the future it may. So that's where you're training it. That's why you're training it and getting ready for it already now. And you can repeat after me. Kamesu Micchācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. The fourth precept means I follow the precept of refraining from false speech. What does that mean? We never tell lies. We're always truthful. In some cases, if you tell someone the truth, they will feel uncomfortable. So if you can, just don't say anything at all. But if someone says, if you don't say anything at all, then it means yes, and yes would be a lie, then you should say no. You should not be silent. So we never allow another person to misunderstand, but if it is uncomfortable and you can keep silent, well then keep silent and enjoy your comfort. But again, always remember, there are not many people in the world in comparison to animals, ghosts, and beings in hell. And if you want to keep your privilege, if you want to keep your specialty of being a human also after you die this life, well then you need to follow these 5 precepts strictly. So you can repeat after me. And remember, this means I follow the rule of not telling lies. So you never tell lies. Musavada, Veramani Sikkhapadam, Samadhiyami. The last precept means I follow the rule of refraining from drinking alcohol and taking drugs. So you probably will not get hold of alcohol or drugs at this age, but get ready for that. In case if anyone comes and encourages you to try out, do not try out. You need to say, I want to be born as a human in my next life. And if I drink alcohol, the probability will decrease. I may not be born as a human in my next life if I drink alcohol. Therefore, in order to become a human or a god in my next life, I never drink alcohol. And they will be surprised and they may be angry. But that's not your problem. So you can repeat after me. Sura meraya. Majja Pamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami. So now you have taken the 5 roles very, very well. So I will now encourage you and remind you to follow these 5 roles and protect the 3 refuges very well so that you can stay mindful. And I will also encourage you to stay mindful. Why would you be staying mindful? Well, you need to be mindful so that you notice that you are going to break one of the 5 roles before you break it. And if you notice it before you break it, well, then you can stop yourself and not break it so that you never ever break any of the 5 roles under any condition. And then you can reply, Ama Bhante, if you agree with that. So let's try that together. Remember to keep your hands at the chest. Tisaranena sadhing panchasilang dhammang sadhukang surakkitang katva appamadena sampadetha. Now I will wish you to be happy, healthy, and achieve enlightenment, to get free from this world. And you can then reply sadhu, 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 which means that you agree with that you are happy about what I said. So let's try that together. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana. Very well. So now our time is up, but anyway, let's do something more. This was a little basics. I explained it. Probably those who already know me here, they know that I explain it. For anyone who's new, I would like to ask Michelle and Felix, and Yidi has been here quite a few times already. What about Christus or anyone else here? If you have any question about these 5 roles, now is the time to ask. If you want to ask anything about this, or if you don't agree with something, or if you find it strange, or if you disagree, let me know now. All right. Now I realize that the name of the young man is not Christus but Crixus, so that makes more sense. But Crixus, do you know what that name means? No idea what that means? So Crixus, was a gladiator. Crixus, do you know what's a gladiator? No idea what's that? Gladiator is a fighter. He's a fighter. He fights in the arena so that other people have some fun. He doesn't fight anyone. He fights only those who are assigned to him as his fighters. And Crixus is is a name of a gladiator, and he was also a military leader in Rome. Crixus, do you know what's Rome? No idea what's Rome? Rome is a city in Italy. Do you know what's Italy? Have you ever heard of that country? No, you don't know what's Italy? Italy is in Europe. It's a European country. Now, Crixus, where do you live?
Kentucky.
In Kentucky. So Kentucky is a state in the USA, right? Kentucky, is that right? Yeah, Kentucky. So you live in Kentucky. That's a state in the USA. And like there's Kentucky, a state in the USA, Italy is a country in Europe. So the world is big and there are a lot of countries, and one of them is Italy. In Italy there is a city. That city is called Rome. And long, long ago there was a military leader, an army leader, and his name was Crixus. So that's the name that you have now, a military leader. But that can inspire you to be a good leader, so that whenever you speak with others, whenever you deal with others, you lead them in what? In following the 5 precepts: not killing, not stealing, not cheating, not telling lies, not drinking alcohol, taking drugs. Crixus did not lead people in not following, in not breaking the 5 precepts. He did not lead people in following 5 precepts, but you take only the good things of the people who are related to you. You do not take their bad things, their bad qualities. So your parents, and this is now for everyone here, your parents sometimes may break some of the 5 rules. But that's not your problem. That's the problem of your parents. On the other hand, your parents support you with food, with clothes, they give you a place to stay, they give you medicine, and that is something very good, and you need to be inspired by that. Okay? Now suppose that you have, suppose that you want to visit your friend. Then in order to visit your friend, you will probably follow on a road, or you will follow on a path. You will probably not go through bushes, and you will not go through you will not go through thick forests, or you will not need to swim over lakes and ponds so that you get to your friend. Instead, you will choose a path that's the most comfortable, that's the most pleasant, so that you come to see your friend. And maybe then you will really visit your friend. You will come and see your friend. In that same way, we want to achieve happiness in this life and in the next life. So how will we do that? We need to follow the comfortable path. What's the comfortable path? Well, that's by following the 5 precepts. So we never break the 5 precepts. So we choose what we do, and we choose what is the best for us. We do not do everything what the other people do, because the other people also sometimes make mistakes. We do not need to follow others' mistakes, right? We need to follow what others do well. Yes, Tiri?
I just forgot when I lowered my hands.
I don't understand.
I just forgot.
What? What did you forget?
I just forgot what my question was.
I see, okay. So then I wanted to share with you our new story. We have a new story in Facebook. The story is the continuation of the previous portion. So previously we were talking about the two brothers, the young brother and the older brother. Both of them became monks, and the younger brother could not learn 4 lines of text in 4 months of memorizing. And so the older brother suggested that the younger brother is not a monk anymore, that he goes back home. But the Buddha met the younger brother, and he explained meditation practice to the younger brother, and he became fully enlightened, and he gained psychic powers. And one of the psychic powers was that he could make himself into 1,000. Now imagine, for example, Emily, you can imagine yourself that you could make yourself into 2 Emilys. Or Valentina could make herself into 2 Valentinas. Or Max could make himself into 2 Maxes. But they are not like someone else who's just doing whatever they want. No. You make yourself into 2 Maxes, and you know and you have full power over what the other Max is doing. You are 2 Maxes. From 1 Max becomes 2 Maxes. And 1 Max for himself, he himself becomes 2 Maxes. In the same way, Zue would become 2 Zues. But not that another Zue would come and he would do whatever he wants. No, not at all. This 1 Zue would become himself 2 Zues. So you would be 2. You have full power over both of them. Like you have power over 1, that's you, now 1 Zue. You would have full power over 2 Zues. So this is the kind of power that the young monk got. And he got the power not just to make himself into 2, he could make himself into 1,000. And when he made himself into 1,000, he had full power over all of those 1,000. He was the 1,000. The 1,000 was he himself alone. And the older brother, maybe you remember, he was not very happy about his younger brother, unable to learn, and he thought that it's more suitable for him to be a layperson. And so he did not want to invite this younger brother for the meal the next day. The next day, all of the monks, they went for a meal in a house of their donor, of their supporter, but this young monk was not invited. So he stayed in the monastery. So all of them went for the meal, and the Buddha is asking the donor, "Oh donor, are there all monks here for the meal? Or is there anyone in the monastery?" And the donor, and then the older brother immediately says, "Venerable sir, no, we are all here. There is no monk in the monastery." Because he doesn't consider the younger brother as a monk. And the Buddha says, "No, there is someone in the monastery." And so the donor says, "Okay, so I will send my assistant to the monastery to see if there is anyone." So he sends his assistant to the monastery, and the assistant, when he comes to the monastery, he doesn't see just 1 monk, the younger brother, but he sees 1,000 monks. So he returns to the house and he says, "Oh, I actually see there 1,000 monks." And the Buddha says, "Well, then just call the Chula Pantaka for the meal." So the assistant goes to the monastery and he asks the monks, "Oh, Venerable sir, are you Chula Pantaka?" And he says, "Yes, I am." And the other monk says, "Yeah, I'm also Chula Pantaka." And another monk says, "I'm also Chula Pantaka." And the other one says, "I'm also Chula Pantaka." So the assistant is confused. He returns to the home and he says to the Buddha, "Oh Buddha, all of them say they're Chula Pantaka." And the Buddha says, "Well, then go there again and grab one by his shoulder. And then that one is Chula Pantaka. And then bring him over here." So the assistant again goes to the monastery for the 3rd time, and he grabs the first one he sees and he says, "Oh, you are Venerable Chula Pantaka, right?" And suddenly all of the 999 monks disappear. And there you get the real Chulapantaka. And so with him, he went for the meal. This was a proof for the elder brother that the younger brother is now fully enlightened. So the elder brother also realized his mistake, that when he thought that his younger brother cannot be a good monk. And he realized, oh, my younger brother is not only that he is a good monk, but he is a fully enlightened monk. Not only that he is a fully enlightened monk, he has very powerful psychic powers. And then the monks, they were wondering, oh, look at this, the elder brother of the younger brother, he wanted to kick him off. But then the Buddha just came and during one single day made the younger brother fully enlightened with psychic powers. Isn't that wonderful? And the Buddha explains, well, this is not the first time I helped him. In the past life, Julapantaka, he was a young merchant. In that life, the Buddha was a priest, and he said, well, if someone picks up, well, no, that's not a good thing. Never pick up a dead mouse, all right? This was a special case. If someone picks up this mouse at this time when the stars are like this, so he doesn't look just at the mouse, but he looks at the stars and he sees, oh, there's this star, there's that star, there's another star, and the stars are exactly at the position where if you pick up the mouse, then you will be lucky in your life. So he says, well, if someone picks up the mouse when the stars are like this in the sky, then they will be very rich and they will have a beautiful wife. And this young man, this young merchant, he hears that and he thinks, oh, that's a good idea, so I'll try that out. So he picks up the mouse and then he sells the mouse. He sells the mouse for a quarter penny. Not much money. But then when he gets the penny, he buys some sugar and some water for that. Then when people come from the forest, he gives them this sugar and the water. Later, these people, they give him something, maybe grass, for the sugar and for the water. Then he sells that, he gets more money. Then he gives it to some other people, they're very happy about it, and they again give him something. He sells that, he gets even more money. And like this, he's supporting others, they support him. When they support him, he sells that and he gets more money. Gradually, from a quarter of penny, he gets 200,000 pieces of money. So that's quite a lot. And then the priest, we call them Brahmins. In India, we call priests Brahmins. And the Brahmin then finds out that this poor young boy became so rich, and he asks him, how did you do that? And he says, well, I heard that you say that if someone picks up the mouse, then they will be rich. So I picked up the mouse. And the priest was very happy with this young man, and he says, well, then if you did this, and if you are ready to follow my advice, then I will also give you my daughter in marriage. So he gave him his beautiful daughter in marriage. And then he became even more and more wealthy until he became the wealthiest man in the town or even in the country. So this is how the Buddha to be in his previous life helped this young man, and now in the last life, when they become enlightened, the Buddha helped this young man by giving him the piece of cloth. Maybe some of you remember, he gave him a piece of cloth. Then this young man, he was rubbing the piece of cloth and thinking, remover of impurity, remover of impurity, remover of impurity. And then he saw, oh, the cloth is dirty. There's something wrong about that. Everything is impermanent. That doesn't mean that you allow your clothes to be dirty. You are sure that it's clean. But if it gets dirty, even though you try, then you realize, everything is impermanent. Why is it impermanent? Because this body is impermanent. Because your body is sweating, then the clothes gets dirty. So you remember your body is impermanent. Then you think about the mind. Oh, the mind is impermanent. What does it mean impermanent? That it changes. It changes. And as you realize that everything changes, you reduce your attachment, you reduce your greed. As you reduce your greed and attachment, and you see that everything is impermanent, you may actually achieve enlightenment. So that's what happened to the young boy. He became enlightened. He understood how things work. Okay, so that's about the story. And I would like to invite you everyone to read the story in detail and to share with us your picture. So I would like to invite you everyone to draw a drawing related to the picture in there, and as you draw when you draw the picture, to share it in the comments of the post. So I will share with you the link to that. So you can see it in the chat box in here. That's a long link. Maybe we can make it shorter. Let's see. All right, so I've made the link a little shorter, so it's easier for you to think of it. And you can follow that link, and then when you are free, when you feel comfortable, read the story in detail. It's a little longer. It's the second part of our story. If you did not read the first part, please follow to the previous post and read the previous part as well. Does anyone have any question about the story or about the drawing? Nobody has any question about that? All right. Previous class, I asked you to write 4 lines or 4 sentences about why do you follow the Buddha's teachings? Why do you meditate? Can you please raise your Zoom hand, everyone who has prepared that? If you know how to raise your Zoom hand, then please do that. Okay, I see Emily and Tenza, Zoe, that's good. Anyone else? I'm asking you whether you have prepared the 4 lines or 4 sentences about why do you follow the Buddha's teachings? Why do you meditate? Did anyone else do it apart from Emily, Tenza, and Zoe? Diri?
I raised my Zoom hand.
I see it. It's right. Okay, good. So that's not enough, and we want to look at this next time when we meet. I will ask Tiri to remember to rename her video when she's joining us and to cover her legs. Today she didn't have covered legs. Always remember that. Your mother cannot remember that for you. You are already, how old are you? 9 years old?
No, 8.
You're still 8, but that's still more than 3. So if you are older than 3 years old, then you should be able to notice that you need to take some good pants, that you need to cover your legs. And then you tell your mom, Mom, I'm not ready, I need to cover my legs. And then when you come here, your legs are covered. Okay, do you agree with that? All right, thank you. And I will ask also Michelle and Crixus. Crixus is gone? I don't see Crixus. To get ready like that with their camera and with their names. Everyone, next time please come on time. Get ready your names, get ready your camera so that we can start earlier and therefore can do some more things. Today I explained to you 5 precepts. I explained them again and again and again. That's very important so that you do not forget. If you feel it's boring, then you think, could I say it myself? And if you still cannot say it yourself, well, then you need to listen some more so that later you can say it yourself. If someone comes and asks you, hey, I heard of these 5 precepts in Buddhism, can you tell me what is that? Then you need to be ready to explain it in detail in the same way as I explain it to you. If you're not ready to do that, well, then you need to listen to it several more times. Okay? So do not think, oh, this is boring. Think, am I ready to explain it? Am I able to explain it in detail exactly as Venerable Sarana is saying it? If yes, then I agree that it's boring. If no, you need to continue listening to that. But it's very helpful, so we remind ourselves. Think about me. I have to repeat it for you again and again. All right? Shouldn't it be boring for me? Because I follow them so well and I know them so well? So always remind yourself of the 5 precepts and remember to follow them very, very strictly. And next week, I hope that everyone will have their 4 sentences, their 4 lines about why they are following the Buddha's teachings, why they meditate. So I would like to encourage everyone else to do that, to fulfill their homework and be ready for the next time. So you have 2 homeworks, all right? Drawing for the second part of the story and writing 4 lines, 4 sentences about why do you meditate, why do you follow the Buddha's teachings. I want to know your thoughts. Why do you do it? Do you do it because your parents asked you? Do you do it because you have nothing else to do? Or do you do it because you like listening to me? Or do you do it to be happy in this life? Or do you do it because you want to be happy in the next life? Or because you want to be rich and successful? Or because you want to achieve peace? Or because you want to be wise? Or because you want to be a good friend? Or because you want to be an inspiration for other people? Or because you want to have a skill how to make others happy? So you need to think about that. Why do you follow the Buddha's teachings? What's there in it? What's in it for you? Write it down and share it with Mam Yake, either yourself or with your parents. And Mam Yake hopefully will have them all ready by the time we have our next class. Thank you everyone for coming. Tiri wants to say something?
I didn't lower it yet.
Yep. So Tenza would like to say something?
No, Shintya, the better one. You said about tomorrow class starting at 9 a.m. is not 7 a.m. anymore?
Yep.
I don't see the message in the Bible group, so I'm just wondering.
Yes, I will be more clear in Viber. We are already discussing it in the New York Teens group. Probably you do not see it in the CA, in the California Teens, because they come at a different time.
Yeah, I'm in the New York Teen group, Shintya, but I don't see it in there.
All right, so let me check. But I remember that we were discussing it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe this was a private discussion. And that's why you do not see it. So I will announce to everyone, because last time we had just two students coming, and even those 2 students were extremely tired. So I felt like something's not right, and therefore we shifted the time. It was also not possible, in the past. Now my schedule cleared up a little, so that's why it was possible. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may all your wishes be soon fulfilled.